So let's have a look at 6b, and 6b is Pythagoras theorem, which you've seen from year 9. So it has to be a right angle triangle for this to work. So I'm going to label my sides A and B, and they're the two sides that join on to the right angle. And then the side that is opposite the right angle, we call that side C. And Pythagoras theorem tells us that C squared equals A squared plus B squared. And sometimes you'll be asked for an exact answer. And when you get asked for an exact answer, it means leave it as a square root. So don't find the decimal approximation. So the answer might be something like square root 29, not the decimal equivalent of that. So just be careful that you leave an exact answer unless it's asked for. So let's have a practice at finding some answers that are exact answers or surds. So in this one, we'd get A squared plus 9 equals 64. So that means that A squared is 55, and we take the square root of 55, and that can't be simplified. One like this next one, A squared plus A squared. Well, I know that A squared plus A squared is 2A squared, and that is equal to 4. Divide each side by 2. So we get A squared equals 2, so A is the square root of 2, and we want to leave that as a surd. So square root of 2 is our answer. So let's have a look at example 4. Find the length of the unknown side in these right-angled triangles, but these are correct to 2 decimal places, so you can use your calculator here. So this is A, this is B, this is C. So x squared equals 5 squared plus 9 squared. Now, if I've got my calculator out, I can now just use my CAS calculator to say solve that for x. And then if you do a control enter, you'll get the decimal places. Or I can do it by hand if I want to. If you do it this way, you will get 2 answers because it'll give a positive answer and a negative answer. Because these are, in fact, distances, it's always going to be positive, so you'll only choose the positive one. Or I can just go x squared equals 25 plus 36. No, how about we try 25 plus 81. So x squared is 106, and then the decimal equivalent of that to 2 decimal places is 10.30. You can just check that you can do that on your calculator. The way this next one, B, is a bit harder is now we know C, it's one of the other sides we don't know. So I'm going to call this A, this B, and this C. It doesn't matter too much as long as you've got your C correct. So I'm going to say 1.5 squared equals 1.1 squared plus y squared. So I've got my A, B, and C. I forget which one I said. This is C. We said this is A, this is B. So we went C squared equals A squared plus B squared. And now you can do a solve on CAS if you want. But remember, you'll get a plus answer and a minus answer. You only want the minus answer, and you have to press Control Enter to get that decimal equivalent. But either way, if you do that, you should get that y squared is 1.04. So y is 1.02. Okay, so just have a practice of those. And now we're just going to do one more, and this is using Pythagoras theorem in 3 dimensions. So we can see that we've got a cube here. So you have to visualise what this is going to look like. Consider a rectangular prism. Okay, it's not a cube because it's actually rectangular. AB is 7, so that's along the front here. AE along the side is 4, and EH, this height, is 2. We want to find BE. So BE is across the base of this rectangle. So if I draw the base, so I'm looking down on it here. I've got A, E, B, and looking down on this base, this is going to be a right angle. So A to E was 4, A to B was 7, so we can say this is C. C squared equals 4 squared plus 7 squared. And this one we want in exact form. And your assessment on this is going to be all calc active, so do it on your calculator if you need to. And you should get an answer of square root 65. And we're going to leave that in exact form. So let's have a look at B. Now we want to find BH. So that's the diagonal that goes from the base here up to the top here. So the triangle I'm going to draw is this one. So it's got a height here. That's the length I'm trying to find. No, that's what I know. And this is what I'm trying to find, which goes from this top corner to the bottom corner. So E, H, B. And it really does help if you label those corners. I know that B to E I found in A. This is square root 65. I know that EH is 2, so I want to find this distance here, C. C squared equals 2 squared plus square root 65 squared. So C squared is 4 plus 65. So C is square root of 69. I'll just put it down here. Hopefully yours will fit better than mine. And if you work that out, exactly it's 10.49. And again, if you want to, you can use a solve when you get to this step. But remember, you're going to get two answers, one positive and one negative. So that is exercise 6B.